fantasy freakazoids. We had the first big night of games in the NBA, fun fantasy night, some interesting injury news, overtime game for the last game. So we're going to get into it with what I like to call studs and duds. So I'm going to go through some of the best performers of tonight, some of the worst performers of tonight, a couple ideas for some pickups that could set you up to win your league, and some injury updates. So let's quickly kick into it. I may have named a few too many studs, but you can't have too many studs. So first off, we have Alperen Sengun. He lit it up tonight. Put together a quick little spreadsheet here. Alp wasn't so efficient from the field, wasn't the best from the free throw line, but it wasn't high volume. 2 threes, 25 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, a block, 3 turnovers, but that is okay when you have a line like that. So LP, arguably one of the best lines of the night. And right after him, we have LaMelo Ball. He is back. He is ready. A perfect 10 for 10 from the free throw line, 50% from the field. Homeboy hits 4 threes, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. This guy just fills it up with a block and a steal, only 2 turnovers, stud line. You could see another dude who blew up tonight, Cameron Thomas. If you drafted him, you are happy. I drafted him. I am happy. Homeboy really blew it up tonight, had 7 threes, 36 points, solid game overall, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. 2 turnovers, not the best, but what an awesome night. Trae Young does his thing with a classic 30 and 12, block and a steal. Very good from the free throw line, sort of mid from the field goal, but you'll take it for the big double-double like that. Paolo Banchero, he is known as being a dude who is not terribly efficient. Tonight, he showed everybody that this year may be the year that he turns the corner on efficiency. He had a great night, 4 threes, 33 points, 11 rebounds. He had 3 assists, a steal and a block, 0 turnovers. Paolo, baby! That's an awesome line for him. Mobley blew it up tonight, too. He was 9 for 14 from the field, 6 for 6 from the line. He hit a 3, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Arguably, he could be higher up on the rank here. I kind of put these rankings together. I think there's a little bit of arbitrary numbers here based on, how your league format is. But for a standard 9-cat, Mobley could probably be up a couple more spots. He could be really the number 3 ranked guy here. A very interesting line from Onyeka Okongwu. Almost perfect from the field, perfect from the line. The only thing he didn't do was he didn't get a steal, he didn't get a block, but he got 28 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 blocks, and 2 turnovers. What a line. I saw him have this line. I'm in many 10-man leagues. I snapped him up in my big money league. Just had to make the move, had to snap him up after tonight. The minute splits were really good with him and Clint Capella. Right now, he could be in the favor, Many years in the past, it was like a 50-50 split, if not even like a 60-40 in favor of Clint Capella. But this could be the Okongwu year. Big line from Okongwu. Now we're going on to Brandon Ingram. He did, let me see if I could actually freeze this row here so we could do video and stats at the same time. We're doing some stuff live. Let's see what we could do. 1 row, freeze it up. And didn't work. Forget it. Control Z. We'll keep grooving through here. So we have next on the list, Brandon Ingram. A little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. I'll jump on that later. DeJounte Murray, broken hand, which is kind of good for Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, who are both here on the list. Brandon Ingram, really good line. We'll go through this. We'll go through the injuries a bit more later, but Brandon Ingram, over 50% from the field. He was perfect from the line. 3 threes, 33 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers. Good, solid line for Brandon Ingram. And now we're going to go on to Lauri Markkanen in the Utah Jazz. Gosh, he is freaking good. He is good. And Walker Kessler, I got his buddy right behind him. Utah, they're going to give us some fun lines this year, but Oh, we hope the party lasts. We don't know. Utah's probably going to go for a tankathon at the end of the year. So you may want to use good performances like this as trade bait if if you believe the thesis that they're going to be tanking toward the end of the year. I tend to believe that that might be the scenario. March is the most important month for fantasy. And if your boys aren't playing in for March, it's all for naught. But let's kick into Lori's line. 9 for 15 from the field. 13 for 14 from the line. Gosh, this guy is the picture of efficiency. He hits 4 threes, 35 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. Doesn't get you any goodies in the blocks or steals. 2 turnovers, but really efficient line. This is like a classic Lauri Markkanen line. And let's go over to Walker Kessler, 6 for 7 from the field. A beautiful 4 for 5 from the line for somebody who historically is not a good free throw shooter. So 80% is money. He gets us 16 points, 14 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 5 blocks, 2 turnovers. That's fine. You'll take that with a crazy line like this. But, this is what we were hoping we would get from Walker Kessler, and we are thrilled to be able to get these numbers. Move this down a little bit more so we could see all the stats as we scroll on through here. Just quickly slap together the studs and duds spreadsheet. As I go through this, let me know if this is something that's cool, if this is something that you want to see, if you want to see the best performers and the worst performers of the night. I'll try to bring you some cool content as we go on, with always a little bit of insight to the extent that I can. I couldn't watch all these games. I tried to watch most of them. But let's keep digging through here. Kessler kills it. We've got Cade Cunningham. I own him on one of my teams. Feel good about it. Not the most efficient from the field, but he got 6 for 6 from the free throw line. 2 threes, 28 points. 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers. That's a really good classic Cade line. Let's go down to Dollar Dame. Dollar Dame gets 6 threes, 30 points, 9 rebounds for Dame. Very, very solid. And 6 assists, no goodies, 3 turnovers there. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I love him, but man, the inefficiencies are what people worry about when they drafted Giannis. One of those dudes who you get him, you really need to start thinking about a free throw punt, and this is the reason why. 9 for 16 from the free throw line. We don't love it, but he also kills it from the field. He shot 72, very efficient, 8 for 11. No threes, but he got 25 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Underwhelming with the steals and blocks. He only gets 1 block. And 3 turnovers overall. Good line here. Now the lines start to get a little underwhelming. These guys are honorable mentions. I don't think I'm going to rip through all the stats, but I'll highlight it here. CJ McCollum, big beneficiary of DeJounte Murray going down. I was really worried about CJ. If you had the insight to draft CJ in your leagues, you were able to get him late, and you are going to reap the rewards of a no DeJounte. If you lost DeJounte, bummer. That sucks. We don't really know how long he's going to be out. The Shams update came about an hour ago, and again, really crappy news, but CJ is a big beneficiary. I'm going to keep going down here. Miles Turner, solid. This is another, I feel like a lot of these players are having their classic lines. This is so Miles Turner. 50 from the field, perfect from the free throw. He got 1 3. He got 3 threes, 20 points. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 blocks. Monster. The rest of these guys, we'll give them honorable mention. You can see the stats over here. I'm sure you own some of these guys. Steph Curry, I had him here only because he nearly triple-doubled. It's not a good Steph Curry line, but it's a good line for a normal human being, but that ain't Steph. That's actually below what Steph really does, but good for a normal NBA player. Good to see Ja get a double-double. Don Mitchell, okay line, but the 2 threes and the 3 steals are super strong. Bane will give him honorable mention. Brad Beal was sort of dudding, but overtime really helps a lot of people. So Beal filled in pretty well for a really efficient game with good points and just good across the line stats. Doesn't hurt you and helps you everywhere. James Harden, I mentioned him, but 35 from the field and 8 turnovers, dog. Come on now. I think Harden is not going to be as good as people wanted to be. I wasn't a dude who was drafting him inside of the top 10. I had him behind a lot of people. And one guy who I had him behind, and I'm happy that I didn't get either of them. Here we go. Scotty Barnes. Holy crap, Scotty Barnes. That is a freaking barn fire. Scotty, you blew it. What are you doing? First night of the season. He shoots 21% from the from the field. 3 out of 4. 0 threes, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Dang, Scotty, a lot of people use that second round and late first rounder on you. Time to step it up. A lot of these guys, by the way, in the duds, I tried to keep them to players that were drafted into the top 100. A couple honorable mentions here, like a Zach Edey I mentioned. These guys are drafted roughly in the top 100. This could be a good opportunity to try to see if there's any eager owners who want to flip these guys because they're getting nervous after one game. So you could try your best, but here's the guys who proverbially crapped the frickin' bed. We keep going down. Miles Bridges. Ugh. 45 from the field. We expect a lot more from him. Only 10 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, a block and a steal. Not bad. I could have left him off this, but the 4 turnovers, that makes you a dud, my pal. Moving on to Jimmy Buckets Butler. Bro, come on. Miami. 2 of the guys from Miami. Your number 1 and really number 2 guy from Miami. Gosh, the Heat got to them. These guys suck tonight. We'll get into it. Jimmy Butler. 1 for 8 from the field. 50 from the free throw line. 0 threes. I can't even believe I'm reading this line. 3 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, block and a steal. Not bad to get the block and a steal, but Jimmy Buckets, you're better than that, bro. I'll talk about Bam, and then we'll get into Jalen Johnson, who kind of I had to mention him here. You'll see why. But Bam, 1 for 5, 7 for 10 from the free throws, 0 threes, 9, 5, and 1 with nothing else. Bam is much better than that. This could be a dude. If you could go and trade somebody on a Bam right now, try to do it. Bam tended to go in like the third, probably like early-ish third round, late second round, a lot of drafts. You could swap him if you picked up like somebody who's great. I mean, maybe I could throw away a trade here where I could trade a Cam Thomas for a Bam. At this point, I don't even know if I'm doing that. I think Cam Thomas might be a solid MVP candidate. Just kidding. But let's keep going through here. Bam sucked. Tobias Harris, people had lofty expectations. Didn't do much. Makes you think, like, is he over the hill? He's an older dude in his 30s. And, 6 for 13 from the field, fine. But, 1 3, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Not enough. That is not enough. Nick Claxton doesn't do much either. Nick Claxton goes 3 for 4. Goes 3 for 4 from the field. 1 for 4 from the free throw. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. It's just really underwhelming for Nick Claxton. Let's keep grinding through here. Darius Garland, not really a beneficiary of this new offense. So, 25% from the field, 1 3, 7 points, 6 assists, nothing else there. 1 rebound, really underwhelming here. As I mentioned before, Zach Edey, we're going to give him an honorable mention because I had him kind of hyped up a little bit, especially a game where there was no Jaren Jackson Jr. You figure there's a chance for Zach Edey to really step up here. But you may see blah, blah, blah. You may see a lot of managers go and drop a Zach Edey for a hot pickup, and this could be a good chance to grab a Zach Edey if he hits your wire. Just to kind of speculate, you can't judge anybody off of one game, but, we're dudding some people, and he's a dudder. He's a dudder, dude. 5 and 5. Nothing else. 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Total killer. Not good. I didn't go over Jalen Johnson here. Let's go over Jalen Johnson. Kind of good, kind of bad. I skipped him, but let's go back to him. 4 for 9. 44% from the field. What killed you was the inefficiency. Obviously, field goal wasn't great. Didn't murder you, but it didn't kill you. The free throw here killed you. This murdered and killed you at the same time. A kill and a murder. 3 for 8. From the free throw line. That stinks. Although he got a double-double with 4 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block, let's keep going with the inefficiencies. The 6 turnovers is such a killer. I mean, this guy filled it up everywhere, even in the turnover column. But, I think he's going to have a monster year. If you could buy him on a low here, that is super advisable. He's one of these duds who he will be on the studs very, very soon. This dud will be a stud of that, I can promise you. Devin Booker fouled out of the overtime game for a pretty underwhelming line. Didn't kill you in any of the field goal or free throw. Pretty low volume. 4 threes is good, but only 15 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and the 4 turnovers hurt you. Not the worst dud, but just compared to what he can do, that's very dud-like. And let's get into injury watch right now. Brandon Miller, a player who I have in a ton of leagues, injured his hip. The note I wrote here is Trey Mann, ? Trey Mann could be one of those dudes who's a really interesting pickup if Brandon Miller does miss time. I'm going to go into some more pickups after we go over the rest of these duds here. DeJounte Murray, I mentioned it before, broken hand, what a bummer. DeJounte Murray had a near triple-double in his game. I only threw him on the dud because, a 0 is a dud, and he's going to have a lot of zeros for the next few weeks. It looks like a broken hand could be anywhere from 8 weeks plus. So he could be out for a solid 2 months here with a broken hand. So that really sucks. Another injury we have here, a hip, I believe. We'll do a little research on this in a little bit. Emmanuel Quickly had a bit of a dud line for all the hype that we had going into the season. Toronto guys did not do well. They almost did as bad as the Miami guys, hot and cold. Miami, Toronto, they stunk. IQ had an inefficient game from the line, 4 for 9, 2 threes, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 2 turnovers. So IQ, not so great. These are our duds. These are our studs. Let's quickly go into some pickups. I picked up, mentioned before, I already added Okongwu. Had to grab him, couldn't miss him. This is a really interesting opportunity for Okongwu. Maybe this stuff sticks. I don't think he's going to have the kind of line that he had tonight every night, but he's a super efficient big man that can hit free throws at a good clip, doesn't have a ton of turnovers, and gets you some good, fun things with the steals and the blocks. Doesn't get a ton of threes, but he's all across the board value. Here's how I like to organize my stats. I like to click through. I like to go through Yahoo players. I go to stats, and I click on, so you can see everything from today. I go to today, live, filter, and I kind of go through here one at a time. So going through points, let's see who's interesting. Santi Aldama looked freaking great. If JJJ is out for an extended period of time with the hamstring, which it doesn't seem like he's going to be, they say that he's going to be back either on the Friday or the Saturday. It's a back-to-back, so he's going to play one of them. Assume he's going to play one of them, so you may still have run with Santi Aldama. Very interesting pickup. Trey Mann, another really good pickup here. Had a good efficient line available in a ton of leagues. Rostered only in 8% of leagues, so he could be there. Good strong line. And if Brandon is going to miss much time, let's take a look at his line again. Dudder of a line, obviously. He only played about 16 minutes. If Brandon Miller's going to miss a ton of time here, Trey Mann, ? Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's keep going through. Wiggins could be a very interesting guy on the Golden State Warriors. He's slept on a ton. There was a ton of hype for... please excuse me for the brain farts. It's 1:30 here in New York. Let's take a quick look at the box score here. See what happened with the Golden State so we could get some insight here. The name I was looking for was Kuminga. He only played 19 minutes tonight. That's very interesting. They did get blown out. Sorry, they did blow out Portland, as they should have. Crushed Portland, so Kuminga only got 19 minutes. Wiggins got 23. He got better overall usage here. He got 15 shots from the field, and he went 4 for 7 here. So maybe Wiggins is the dude on that team, and Kuminga isn't. This is still up in the air, TBD. Maybe Kuminga wasn't the dude, and Wiggins is. Something to keep an eye on. Wiggins could be a dude to look at. Brandon Podziemski didn't get a ton of run here. Melton could be a guy to look at as well. We'll keep looking through the list over here to chip away, but Wiggins could be an interesting guy. Ben Matherin, another guy, somebody to keep an eye on, but he's a pretty one-dimensional dude. Will only get you points. Boucher, this is a blowout game. Gary Harris, blowout game. A guy who's not really going to put on a performance like this. Super high efficiency. We could forget him for now. Torian Prince, I don't love him. Nobody I'm really looking at. Grade A Dick. Grady Dick could be a dude to really fill in Toronto. Grady Dick had 16 points with 2 blocks. Not terribly efficient from the field, but very efficient from the line. And he could be a guy who really sticks here in this lineup. They didn't do so well tonight, but maybe he could get some run this year as a kind of a second year. Another guy who I really like here I'm going to mention is Dyson Daniels. Didn't do so well from the free throw, but absolutely crushed it with 5 steals. This is a guy who can put up these niche numbers at a mega high clip. He's a guy, if you don't have him, you have to put him on your radar. Atlanta, losing all that big usage of DeJounte Murray brought in a ton of usage and a ton of time for other Hawks. Dyson Daniels was a sought-after dude in New Orleans, and coming into Atlanta, he could be an impactful guy. If he could be one of these dudes who steps up and can get over 2 steals a game, he may be a guy you just have to grab this year. Nikola Jovic, another interesting guy to keep an eye on. Let's see how many minutes he had tonight. That's a good indicator. Although it was a blowout, he had 24 minutes, 15 points, good across the line. He could be a good streamer. Nobody who I think you have to run and go grab right now. These are the guys. Nobody else here is really popping up to me. Let's see if we could just quickly run through blocks. Anybody pop out here? Dan Tyus, nothing too crazy here. Let's see how many minutes he got. 18 minutes on a New Orleans team that did not have a full roster tonight. Let's take a quick look at their box score, see if there's any extra insights from here for pickups. Yeah, we could kind of see the impact of DeJounte Murray going down. Obviously, there was no Zion tonight, so that's a big reason why Tyus got some extra run, but he is running at the center. Who knows what they're going to do when Zion's back? I think they're going to run Zion at the center and keep Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum in there, but let's see who they fill in for that guard spot. Herb may get some extra usage here. Not a big usage guy anyway, but he was going to get a ton of minutes anyway. This could be a good reason to add an Herb Jones if he is sitting out there somewhere. Probably isn't, but maybe he got dropped. But likely not. So Jordan Hawkins could be an interesting guy to look at here too. But very, very, very interesting. Let's keep going through some of the blocks and see who else we have here. Another guy on New Orleans. Let's go back to that box score and see what kind of minutes he got. 22 minutes. Yves Messi. I'm probably butchering that name, but 3 blocks, 7 rebounds, efficient from the field, 12 points. Somebody just to keep an eye on here. Let's see what happens. Nothing else super impactful. I like this guy, Huff. I like him. He looked really good in the preseason, but I just don't know how much impact he's going to have. Rookies sometimes don't get their biggest shots. Let's see. Jay Huff. 22 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. He's a dude who can hit you a funny combo of threes and blocks, but also JJJ is down, so this is probably not going to last too long. Oh, good insight here. Zach Edey was in foul trouble, hence his really bad game. So just something to keep a focus on, something to keep on mind. Zach Edey, if somebody drops him, you know, they may be making a big mistake because he was in foul trouble. Let's see how many PFs he had. Totally different team here. Let's see. Jay Huff. Let's do some digging here. Let's do some forensics to see what really happened with Zach Edey. 14 minutes. Oh, he totally fouled out. Okay. Wow, fouled out in 14 minutes. Anxious in your first night in the league. Damn, Edey, bro. All right, let's see if you can control this. If somebody drops Edey, I mean, you have every excuse in the world to snap him up and not let him sit on that waiver. 6 fouls, that's good justification. It's not just like they said, you're not our dude. I still think he's going to have a good shot to be a very impactful player this year. I still think he's the highest probability guy to get Rookie of the Year, so If somebody makes a mistake, take advantage of that. Zach Edey, okay. Any other extra insight here? Let's see. Nothing here. Let's look through any steal action. We're going to see Dyson Daniel with the 5 spot. Very interesting. Let's see if I could even try to pronounce his name. Yabasule. He played. I think he played for that French national team. Gershon Yabasule got 25 minutes, 3 steals. You could keep an eye on him. He's probably more of a streamer. Some good streamer guys. Let's see, Melton, D'Anthony Melton. Somebody who you can keep an eye on this year. Nothing crazy. I love Scottie Pippen. If this dude got run, he would be an impactful player. Let's see how many minutes he got tonight. 21 minutes. Man, if there's any injuries that really happened to this team big time, Scottie's a guy who you need to really grab. You need to run, not walk, to grab SPJ. He had a really interesting line. If this guy was able to scale up on his minutes, I think he could have mega impact this year. A block, 3 steals, 7 assists, only 2 turnovers. This guy can really fill up the stat sheet, so somebody to definitely keep an eye on this year. Let's see if he could run through assists, any impactful assist guys. Ben Simmons, God, he's playing with so much doubt out there. I watched a lot of the Net games. God help me. I have the Yes Network. That's why I'm here in New York. So, Ben Simmons, bro, those 6 turnovers suck, but like he's going to be kind of like a Draymond Green with like half the confidence. So, don't know if I'm loving Ben Simmons, but somebody to keep an eye on. Let's see how many minutes he got tonight. 24 minutes. I don't love him, but I think he's somebody who could be really interesting here. Any other good assist guys? Kyle Lowry, very interesting streamer. And I think we could leave it at that for tonight. We've got our studs. We've got our duds. We have some insight on some pickups. So hopefully this was helpful. First big volume night of the NBA season. I hope you had more studs than duds. And I will catch you on the next one. Have a good night.